Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CSTV. I'm your host Kathleen and this is The Striker. The Striker today takes us to the video that has been circulating online of newly graduated GSU, that is the General Service Unit officers in Nairobi, all in Kenya, who actually recorded themselves and were recklessly addressing the public. The language used and how they were doing it elicited a number of reactions and diverse reactions from the Kenyan citizenry together with the Kenyan government, especially the police department. The IG came out to say that what those young men did was uncalled for and does not depict the values of the Kenya police, of the Kenya National Police Service. However, when you look at the reactions from the common citizenry, it was diverse. There are those ones who felt that the young men were actually excited for the achievement that they had made. You know, after like 9 years of training, they were coming out now to serve the nation. And there are those ones who actually felt that what the young men, that is the GSU officers were doing, is a reflection of thugs and crooks within the police service who come outside there and use the power and the weapon that has been given unto them to intimidate the common citizenry. And I agree with all these reactions, but I sat down and I was looking at the police service and the image or the picture that is supposed to reflect an officer in the National Police Service. We expect an officer to be somebody who actually is responsible. You know, language is very powerful. When we see an officer saying that tunakuja huku nje, sisi ni wazii, tutapatana, sisi ni wa papapa. You know, papapa is just like telling you, sisi ni watu wa shooting. So you see, were the young men addressing the citizenry? All they were addressing the criminals outside there. So you see, it raises a question. And if these young men actually were addressing the Kenyan citizenry, the Kenyan people have every reason to react to this video negatively. They are not even out of the camp and already they are telling us sisi ni wale wa pa pa pa. So what will happen when they get that gun and come out and now they are sent to go and bring peace somewhere? Are they going to bring peace, or they are going to come out with that thug mentality that they displayed in that particular video and start brutalizing the common citizenry? I'm sorry for those ones who were saying that that was a reaction to, like, they were excited about their achievement. We are the same Kenyans who say that we are facing police brutality. And when now police brutality or whatever an aspect of responsibility is pointed out in the police service, you are the same people who are coming to say that these young men are reacting or are excited about the achievement. To what extent that, like, how can we say that that clip is limited to the achievement, that whatever they displayed in that clip is not going to be depicted outside here when they will be dealing with the common citizenry? And then another thing that I asked myself, what is the difference between the way those boys or those men behaved in that video and the street thugs and the street gangs, the unruly youths that we have in the streets who fear nobody and use any language on anybody? What is the difference? Like, if they removed that uniform and entered the street, what could be the difference? For me, there's no difference. Actually, for me, they were more like the street thugs and the street rude young men who ambush and harass anybody because they have nothing to lose. And then another thing was like, did these young men go through any class or training concerning the police service and the media policy or the social media policy? You know, when you see these young men adorned in full GSU uniform, talk such nonsense? Where is their instructor? Did these young men go through this training and they chose to break the code? Or at all they were not introduced to this PL in the social media code? So, for me, it raised a number of questions, and it left me telling myself that if these are the young men we are going to have as GSU officers, if these are the people who are going to be sent in conflict areas to bring peace within our country, if these are the people we are sending to places like Ikabedo, to places like Laikipia to bring peace, there's no peace these young men are bringing. That was irrationality. These are the same people who, instead of dealing with the criminal, they end up maltreating, brutalizing, and abusing physically the common citizen who is innocent, who is not combat, and so forth. These are the young people who think that wearing a police uniform and having a gun is a source of power to manipulate the common citizenry. These are the people who will find you and tell you that you are not supposed to question a police officer even when your rights are being violated. So for me, it was like the young men need to face the law or the discipline policies that accrues with such kind of conduct that they did. And I saw somewhere, I don't know whether it is true or it's official, that they have been sent for retraining. And I believe that if actually they have been sent for retraining, then that retraining should be thoroughly done. If I were actually in the shoes of, if I was among the people who are supposed to deal with that case, there were to be two options. Go back to retraining for the next 9 months and make a police officer who is rational and thoughtful of what he or she is supposed to do as an officer, or you give back the uniform and everything and enter the streets and call out your thuggery there, because there the police will find you and deal with you as a common citizenry. So it is a call to everybody and to the youths of this country that we are in an age where the language we use, the things that we do online and so forth, we just don't think, like we don't have a second thought. But we fail to understand that the kind of language we use in the social media, the kind of videos and the kind of conduct that we portray in the social media can impact on ourselves, our lives, our professions, our careers, and so forth. Especially the police service, the kind of language that was displayed by those young men explained the mistrust that exists between the police and the common citizenry. As a common citizen, I cannot trust a man or a woman adorned in full police uniform or GSU uniforms and is using the language of violence even before he moves out of the camp. So I will never trust such an officer, and because I may not maybe meet one-on-one with this officer, I will be definitely looking at every police officer around me and remembering that clip of violence. So please, give your opinion. Do you think that the language and the code of conduct displayed by the GSU officers who were actually excited about their graduation was actually called for? Was it right? Was it wrong? Join the conversation and let's meet next time in The Striker. Subscribe.